Taye Arimoro is such an exceptional actor with a very wide range that I think producers and directors are currently sleeping on. I beg to disagree because you can disagree. Let me show you his body of work.
No, their hearts they always join together.
Oh, even Mr. Navasi is the thing. Can we just press record, please? Ento mojiwura onlantafo. You know what it means?
We're either going to do adoption or we're going to do surrogacy. But this madness needs to stop right now.
This is not a paid ad, but I had to come on here to do a video after watching Omoni Oboli's new movie, After the Chase. The movie was released a few days ago, and it just further confirmed what I've already always known, which is that Taye Arimoro is such an exceptional actor. Not only did he speak Hausa in this movie, which I never even knew he could speak Hausa, but he gave us a range of emotions and he showed us his versatility as an actor. Let me just quickly talk about the movie because the movie was one that had a very slow start. Like, if you're not patient, you might eventually like scroll away and be like, this movie is not interesting, or yeah, what's the point of this movie? Can we get to the crux of the matter? You know, it was actually really good in my opinion. I enjoyed it. Of course, I was struggling a bit in the beginning because I was like, okay, I'm enjoying the Hausa Taye is speaking, which I was really fixated on, you know. And the other thing that caught my eye is Cynthia Clark. Now let's even talk about Cynthia Clark. I've seen Cynthia Clark, or I've known Cynthia Clark mostly from a lot of Omoni Oboli movies, and more often than not, she tends to play the villain. She tends to play the nasty girlfriend, the nasty ex, the bully, you know, just negative characters. You know, it's just a very few movies that I've seen her portray a positive or a good character. And by virtue of that, I haven't really come to, you know, like her or her acting because it just seemed monotonous and it seemed like, okay, this is who she is, even though I know she's acting and that's not who Cynthia Clark is. I hope. I've not met her in person. But you know, when you start getting typecasted as an actor, it's very dangerous because people start to see you as the characters that you play often. So for the longest time, I won't even lie, when I see a thumbnail of her movie on YouTube, I scroll away. Sometimes I watch, you know, just if it's done by a producer that I like, maybe Omoni Oboli or Uche Nabunabo, I would watch. But more often than not, I'm not really interested because I'm just thinking I know what to expect from Cynthia Clark. This particular movie made me fall in love with her, and that is why it's very important for actors to take risks and diversify their portfolio and take on different roles and characters. The way she was so endearing and vulnerable and soft in this movie made me see that she actually has range, and that's the range I even spoke about that, you know, Taye has, which is something I feel like we see because he takes on different characters and he's very adventurous with his roles. The movie in itself was really good. I liked the storyline. I liked the plot twist because this I'm not going to give any spoilers, by the way, but I liked this plot twist in the movie, you know, and I just liked how it progressed. The pacing was good. The dialogue fell short in some areas. Like, I really didn't like the dialogue in the scene where Taye was talking to his parents, you know, about something, and you know, that dialogue felt a bit flat to me. But generally, dialogue wasn't bad. I really liked the banter between Cynthia Clark, who plays Annabella, and Taye, who plays Dr. Umar. It felt organic. It felt like they were friends. You know, when he says something like, "Oh, I'm your superhero," things like that, it just felt very real and natural, which is something that I won't even lie, most Nollywood movies lack. Like, sometimes you just feel like you know that they are acting, but thankfully these days we see that more Nollywood producers, directors are taking their time, you know, particularly YouTube movies, because I know that production timeline usually is like a week, sometimes 5 days. So everybody's in a hurry and people are just doing the barest minimum, barest minimum with their lines, you know. So people are just literally reading their lines. They're not even acting it out, you know. But these days with people like Bolaji Ogumala, who I adore, I really love her movies. Biodu Stephen, Uche Nambunabo, Omoni Oboli, of course, and a few others. I see that they're being more intentional about the quality of not just the cinematography, because that's what I've noticed, that a lot of, you know, Nollywood producers are focused on just the cinematography, the quality of the production value, but also the quality of the content, the scripting, the acting, the dialogue, and every other thing in between. I also really love the banter between Annabella and her mom, and it was so refreshing to see this woman play, you know, the role she played here, because usually she's a posh, you know, mom and the like. So just to see her like diversify and take on this character was so nice to see. After the Chase was really, really good, and I highly recommend it. It's a very good watch, a feel good watch. But beyond even that, I think I started with talking about Taye Arimoro, and it's for a reason. There was a scene in this movie that really just made me say, this guy, I really like how you act. And there was a scene between himself and Cynthia Clark where they were having like a vulnerable moment where she wanted him to impregnate her by force by fire. And the way he spoke to her, it felt, I don't know how to explain it. You guys have to just watch the movie to understand what I'm talking about. But he's an actor that definitely has been highly slept on. I've seen him in a few mainstream movies, but I feel like more people need to, engage him. More producers need to engage him, because right now he's more popular on YouTube, which is not even a bad thing, because right now Nollywood on YouTube is big. It's like even bigger than Nollywood on Netflix, in my opinion. Like, I prefer the quality of movies of Nollywood on YouTube than the ones on Netflix and even Prime, but just for that international recognition in terms of awards, because YouTube movies don't get awards, international awards like that. They don't, like, in terms of like AMVCAs and all those things, so that's why I just really want to see him in more mainstream movies. I know he was in a few last year. He was in Red Circle, which I have not seen, and I really want to see. He was in there's another one, I can't remember the name, but he was promoting it heavily. I forget now, but yeah, he's been in a couple of mainstream movies, but he needs to be engaged with more because he's really, really, really good. One thing I really love about Omoni Oboli is the fact that, and I've mentioned this before, she tends to bring back old actors that have been laying low for a while, that we've not seen on our screens in a while. She tends to bring them back into her movies, into the limelight, and it's something I really respect and adore, because it's not easy to be in that industry. Like, I'm not an actor, but I've had a very brief stint in acting, and I know how it is where you're looking for gigs, you're the hot in thing for a season, and after a while you fall off the wagon, or you drop off the radar, the Nollywood hot thing radar, and people are no longer interested in what you do because they don't see your face, or you're not as consistent in being in movies or the likes. So to see her bring back actors that were popular back in the day, like in this After the Chase now, Taye Arimoro's mom is an actor that was quite popular back in the 90s. When I was younger, I used to see her on my screens a lot. So when I saw her, I was so excited. I can't remember her name, but when I saw her, I was so excited. Same with his father, I was just like, this is so refreshing to see actors that, they've been in the game for a while, just to see them back on our screens. It's something that is really commendable, and I really, really respect Omoni for that. She did that also with Chris Attor. He was in Love in Every Word Part 2. He was also in a movie that he did with Datola Jones. And I was just like, giving these people a chance to keep going, on with their dreams is something that is very, very respectable. Now, if I want to even rate After the Chase, how will I rate it? How would I rate this movie? Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, I think I'm going to give After the Chase a solid 7.5, if not even an 8, because the movie was slow starts, but I would like to call it a slow burn. It was a slow burn initially. I was like, okay, what's the point? What's the message? And when the message landed, I was like, oh wow, this was actually really nice, and it warmed my heart. The only thing I didn't think I really liked in the movie, apart from some dialogues that fell flat to me, in my opinion, was the resolution, which I don't want to also spoil as well, but I can understand why forgiveness wasn't put on the table. When you watch it, you understand what I mean. I can understand why, just letting people pay for the consequences of their action was the choice of the director or the writer of the script, but at the same time, the said person, I'm already spoiling it for you, the said person is dead, so I just feel like the person is dead, the person can't come back to truly have a form of retribution, so why don't you just forgive them, but yeah, After the Chase was really good. And if you've not seen any of Taye Arimoro's movies, this is a good time to hop on that train, and it's such a good time to get acquainted with this amazing actor. I repeat myself, this is not a paid ad. I just like the guy, and I think he's very talented and deserves to be promoted. If you're new here, welcome to the Best Tube. I know this is such a late welcoming, but welcome. I wanted to just get into the video before welcoming everybody. And if you stay till the end, you deserve a rose. You deserve a rose. You deserve a glass of champagne. You deserve whatever you want in this life. Thank you for sticking with me through this whole video. On this channel, we talk about faith, we talk about movies, we talk about travel, and hot takes on different topics. So you joining in today really means so much to me. Please subscribe if you are not subscribed, and just look out for more content from me. Until the next video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and thank you for tuning in to the Best Tube. Bye.